Hello, how are you?
Good.
Very
Good to
well,
see
thank
you again.
Can you tell people or tell me experiences that you had during the coming to Israel and especially to Tiberias?
Well, we have been wanting to come to Israel for a number of years, and when the opportunity arose, we took advantage of the opportunity and decided to come to Israel and have a look and see what our decision will be. We arrived in Israel and we were met at the airport by our son, who made Aliyah about 10 years ago and has been living in different parts of Israel, but who is now living in Tiberias. He works in Tiberias, and he met us at the airport and took us back to his apartment, where we stayed for about a couple of weeks.
I think what's important to say is a day or two after we arrived, he phoned Mizrad Hapinim to make an appointment for us because we hadn't applied for citizenship, because we knew we were coming into a war situation and we wanted to see if we could actually deal with it. Well, after a day or two being here, we just decided this is our home, we want to be here. He phoned Mizrad Hapinim. They phoned us back in Tiberias and they said, sure, come over. And I think it was a day or two later, we were met by the most amazing woman who just really helped us through the process. However, after that, we thought we're going to encounter trouble because we couldn't speak Hebrew. So someone told us about someone called Moshe, and she said that she would come with us to meet Moshe. We didn't know who Moshe was or what it was all about, and she took us to a place called Beit Oleh. And when we arrived here, it was unbelievable. We arrived here after about a week of being getting our citizenship, which by the way came really quickly. We got it within 2 months, and we met Moshe. We arrived here not knowing what to expect or why we even needed Moshe, and it was like we were coming to family. The first thing he said to us was, have you got a place to stay? Which we actually didn't, because we were staying with our son. He organized accommodation for us for a short while. Afterwards, he arranged more permanent accommodation. He took us to get phone contracts. He took us to open accounts in the bank. He took us to offices we never even knew we needed to go and visit and were very important. He became like family to us. If we had a problem, we'd say, phone Moshe, and he'd be there. He'd come in his car and he would be there. He would meet us. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Where did you come from?
We came from South Africa, close to Cape Town. We were living in a place called Sedgefield, which is in the Garden Route down on the southern coast of South Africa. A very beautiful place that we lived in. We had a nice home that we were staying in, and we had all the comforts, but there was that something special was lacking, that which we have now found living in Israel and living in Tiberias. There is a shalom here that we did not have in South Africa. We're very grateful for that.
And it's very interesting because our lifestyle, in a sense, we had a beautiful house in South Africa. We had 3 cars, a swimming pool. We were close to the beach. We've come here and our South African rand is over 5 to the shekel. So it's really, we had to lower our standard of living, but it's been absolutely incredible. And we have just found the neighbors. They're so different to us. They're very different. They're very religious. We are not religious. And yet there has been such a warmth when we... initially, it was a little bit difficult when we came. They're very different. They don't speak any English. They didn't speak English, our particular neighbors. When we left the apartment, we sobbed. I mean, it was just so amazing. The children came out to say goodbye in Hebrew. And that's another thing that we found, just going to the Ulpan here, which again Moshe organized for us. It was incredible. I can honestly say Ulpan in Tiberias was a highlight of our life. I mean, the teachers.
They were incredible. They were really extraordinary. You know, for us at our age, going back to school and sitting in the classroom for 5 hours a day was, we thought, going to be quite an ordeal. On the contrary, it was absolutely delightful. It was fun, it was informative, we learnt a lot. I think when I arrived here, I could say shalom. and that was it. Not that I'm fluent in Hebrew now, but I can make my way. I can ask how much things cost in the shop and where the bus stop is and where the bomb shelter is. So we're starting. As they say in Israel, liat, liat, slowly, slowly. I'm learning to speak. I'm learning the culture, and it has really been an amazing experience. What I must say is that shortly after our arrival here, we entered into the war. Not only the October 7th, but later on the 12-day war. And during that time, it was such a bonding process with our neighbors, running to the bomb shelter in the middle of the night in our pajamas and sitting with everybody else there. It was really quite special, and we formed such a bond and a friendship with them that when we did leave that accommodation after such a short while, we left as we were leaving friends, and that really was special.
Did you have a feeling that the war was something that stressed people, or it was like a meeting on the middle of the night?
Well, it was mixed. For me, I was not stressed about it, but my wife Antoinette was very stressed.
I've never experienced stress like that in my life, but I never ever wanted to go back to South Africa, where I had peace, where I had security. Never once. I think just being part of this community in Tiberias was just very cementing. I mean, I think, for instance, one of the people in the bomb shelter, when he saw that we couldn't speak the language, everyone was either speaking Hebrew or Russian. We were the only English speakers in that particular apartment building. It's not the same everywhere. There are many English speakers in Tiberias, but in that particular apartment building. And yet he came to us after one night and he just said to us, "Can I take you to the shops in my car? What do you need?" People were just so warm. One of the ladies gave us her baby to hold. Someone else saw that I was very nervous and passed me her dog because she had seen that I loved dogs. It was just such a sense of warmth, but it was a very frightening experience. However, again, I want to say that Moshe just kept on sending messages, kept on offering help. Telling us, please be part of this community. It's a group of people who help you deal with trauma and things like that. It made all the difference. It was as if we had a brother sitting here just caring for us, and it meant the world to us. And what I do want to say is, for instance, this Beit Oleh where Moshe assists you, I don't think that they have anything else like this in the rest of the country. I don't think, after speaking to other people who made Aliyah, they in fact have started phoning Moshe. Unfortunately for Israel, he only works in Tiberias. But they've said, but we don't get this help. Why don't we get this help? And honestly, I mean, we're actually sitting here waiting for him to take us to an appointment. Talking about appointments, what about the medical people?
Well, that has been quite an extraordinary experience. The level of expertise coming from the medical profession is absolutely incredible. I went for a customary checkup, blood tests and check over, and I was immediately referred to a specialist for a particular condition that I had treated in South Africa, and the doctor said, no, it's not enough, we need to check up and make sure that everything is 100%. So that really has been quite extraordinary. But just coming back to the help that we have received from Moshe, we were kind of warned about the difficulty when we get here of arranging documents, and you've got to open a bank account, but to open a bank account you need a phone number, but to get a phone number you need a bank account, and so it's it can be a nightmare. And Moshe came to the rescue there. He took us from one place to the next place to the next place, and it was a pleasure. It was not difficult at all, and we have been able to get all the necessary documentation. The appointments that we needed to were made, were attended. Moshe took us with, translated for us, and he really made it easy. So we're up to date, I think, with everything in terms of the requirements. Within a week, a couple of weeks, in terms of the statutory requirements for new immigrants. Olim Hadashim that we are being here, everything is up to date. And really that is thanks to Moshe for his incredible help.
I understand that you had to pass the process of driving license. That was a small procedure, and you did that alone. But what is interesting to people to understand, it's when you had to buy a car. What was the process? It was easy? Was difficult?
No, it was very straightforward. In fact, what was very nice about this is that we made an appointment at the licensing bureau, and we went in and we spoke to the lady there, a lady by the name of Karen, who was very, very helpful. And we made an appointment. We went in, and I was told that because I have had a license in South Africa continuously for the last 5 years, I can apply to exchange my license, which I did. So I handed in all the necessary documentation for my South African license, and I was immediately issued with a temporary driving license, and I'm just waiting for my card to arrive, which will be my permanent Israeli driver's license. And for my wife it was the same thing. So we're both licensed drivers in Israel. It has been a bit of a challenge. In South Africa we drive on the left hand side of the road. Here we drive on the right, but it must be right because we're driving on the right.
And what we've also decided, we've always had a car, but we decided not to buy a car. The reason being is that once again Moshe said to us, he took us after hours to the bus, whatever it is, where you buy the depot where you get the tickets. He organized for Peter to get a free, because of his age, he can travel anywhere in Israel by bus, by rail for free, and I pay half price. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. So we just decided, what do we need a car for? We can rest on Shabbat with the rest of Israel, and we get on public transport, which we love. And interestingly, we've been staying in Rehovot, we've been staying in Tivon, looking after people's houses. They've just, family or friends have gone away. And I must say, as much as we love those places, and they're wonderful, they're not close to Tiberias. They don't have that kind of melting pot of cultures. I think Tiberias is one of the best kept secrets. I mean, people say to us, Tiberias, Israelis, why do you want to come to Tiberias? And I just say to them, it's the most exceptional place. One of the things that I haven't seen in any of the other places that we've been in, and we've been in a number, is that people are walking the streets any time of night. You just walk the streets. We meet people, we chat to people, they're friendly, they help us with our Hebrew, we go into shops, they know us. We are just loving the place. We walk everywhere. In the hot summer day, we put a hat on, we put our ozone shirt on so we don't get burnt, but it's such a joy walking the streets of Tiberias. There's always people here. There's different cultures, different people. And we've learned to have Russian friends, Ethiopian friends, Israeli friends from all over. It's a very, very warm place. In the other places, I feel a little bit of an outsider, even though it's more Western. It's just kind of got the Western values, keep to yourself behind closed doors. Tiberias is not like this. It's a very warm place. It does take getting used to if you come from a Western world, but we love it.
Talking about Tiberias, you come to a city where people will tell you, but it's a religious city. Do you have a feeling or a stress, or do you feel not connected to the reality of Tiberias?
No, not at all. Certainly in the beginning it was different, it was strange, not something we had seen in the movies only, with all the religious people walking around. So from our side, it took us a while to get used to that, but people are people, and it doesn't matter whether they're religious or not religious. It doesn't matter the clothes that they're wearing. We found that people are friendly, people are warm, people are helpful. If we get stuck in the shop and we don't know what we're buying, or we don't know we can't find what we're looking for, or if we're looking for a bus and which bus do we catch, the people are so helpful, so ready to help us, whether they're religious or not. People are people, and there is a warmth in Tiberias that we haven't found in the other places.
I think what also helped us a lot is our Ulpan teachers were very religious.
Yes.
And they were the most amazing people. They were just absolutely wonderful. And they helped us through the culture. I think it's very important to go to Ulpan because
Yes.
they explain cultural things. So one of the questions I asked them when I arrived, I said, "You're religious and you're so funny. You so understand our culture. You so understand us. You're so connected to us." I mean, they are like family every single day. During the 12-day Iran war, I mean, they would send us messages. We could complain to them, and so I think they broke the barrier of what prejudiced us. We were prejudiced against the religious. We do need to understand the culture of some of these sects, if I can say that way. We have to understand the culture, but that's what we're in Israel for. We're here to learn the culture, learn that people are different, and learn to live with them, and we love it. I can just say that this is the place I want to be. It's harder to adjust to because it's something different to get used to, but I left South Africa because the culture was so Western and kind of unfriendly, and so I want to come, and I understand that I have to learn and I have to adapt.
Do you think that it's good to come to Tiberias or not?
It's definitely a place to come to. Tiberias you want to see. It's beautiful. The Sea of Galilee, the
yes.
Kinneret,
Wow.
the view, the atmosphere, what is on offer here, the hot springs, the beaches, swimming in Lake Tiberias. There is so much to do. The waterfront is absolutely splendid. It's fantastic to walk around there in the evening. There is so much life, and the food and everything else that you get, it really is wonderful. So I would recommend, yes, come to Tiberias.
Absolutely. It's a place that I want to live. It's got so much. It's got nature, but it's also got the big malls to offer. It's an exquisite place to live in, and I haven't found anywhere else in Israel. And we've actually house sat and lived and have family in other areas. It's stunning. This is where I want to be. Plus, it's a lot cheaper than the other places.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.